Good morning, students. What we were discussed in previous class. In previous class, we started that Arthropoda phylum. In that Arthropoda phylum, we discussed general characteristic features. It is the largest phylum, 9 lakh species which are going to present. So, in that various characteristic features, sensory structures, whatever the respiratory structures, that and all we discussed. Is that right? So, regarding that, we are going to discuss about classification, classes of arthropoda, that we are going to discuss. Okay, classification of arthropoda. Classification of arthropoda. What are the classes which are going to present in arthropoda? Crustacea. First one, what is that? Crustacea. Next, second one, Chelopoda. Classes. What are these classes? Crustacea, Chelopoda. Next, Diplopoda. Insecta, also known as Hexapoda. Okay, next, Arachnida. Arachnida. Next, Onychophora. Next, Merostomata. Merostoma. Okay. So these are the classes which we are going to be see in this particularly arthropoda. Okay. So one by one we will go through in that. First, crustacea. Crustacea. Okay. So in arthropoda, particularly body is going to be divided into head part, thoracic part, and next abdomen part. Is that right? So that's what all the arthropoda. That is the common characteristic feature we are going to be see. Head is going to be body divided into cephalothorax and abdomen. What is this here? It is head portion, head plus thorax part. So this is combinedly called cephalothorax. Cephalon, that particular word which is related to head. Okay. Body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Next, another characteristic features. These are two pairs of antenna. These organisms, crustacea organisms, are having two pairs of antenna. Two pairs of antenna which are going to present. Sensory structures, is that right? You just remember previous characteristic features, sensory structures, antenna which are going to present in these two pairs of antenna which are going to present. Okay. Next, in these organisms, respiration by respiration through body surface or gills. Respiration through by body surface or gills. Next, excretion by antennary glands or green glands. Okay, excretion by antennary glands or green glands. Next, in these organisms are sexes are separate Sexes are separate. Development is direct or indirect. You will be able to observe Nauplius larva, Zoea larva. You can able to see. Examples regarding crustacea. Examples: Palaemon, Macrobacterium, Daphnia, Cyclops. So many you can able to see. So in this Daphnia and Cyclops, these are going to be these are zooplanktons which are present on water surface. These are zooplanktons. So remember Daphnia and Cyclops. This is about crustacea. This is about crustacea. Is that right? Next, we are going to see the another class, that is going to be Chelopoda. Chelopoda. Another class we are going to see the Chelopoda. Okay. Chelopoda. Chelopoda. So I am going to be rub this one. Okay. Another is going to be Chelopoda. First crustacea completed. Next Chelopoda class 2. Body is divided into head, thorax. Common characteristic features in all the classes: abdomen and abdomen. Okay. Next, another characteristic features: a pair of sensory structures. A pair in this previous class, two pairs. Here it is one pair of antenna which are going to be present. Okay, a pair of antenna which is going to be present. Next, respiration by trachea. Tracheal system, I told you, is that right? Trachea, particularly through that, which are going to be opening through the spiracles, through which air which is going to be enter, oxygen which is going to be enter. Trachea is going to be respiratory structures which are going to be present in the arthropoda. I told you, please try to remember. Next, excretion. Malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules. Excretion by Malpighian tubules. Sexes are separate. Direct development you can able to observe. In these examples you can able to see Chelopoda, Scolopendra. You are going to see long structures, unsegmented body. Scolopendra, also known as centipede. Okay. Next, Chelopoda. For the third class, Diplopoda. So in these again, body is divided into head part, thorax, abdomen. Okay, next, in this also a pair of antenna which are going to be present. Next, here also same pair of, here it is, respiration by trachea, tracheal system, excretion by Malpighian, excretion by Malpighian tubules. Next, here also development direct. Okay, so example you can able to see here it is Zulus is millipede. Okay, Zulus millipede in these examples. Okay, next another class Insecta. Insecta, it is the largest number of species. Hexapoda, Insecta, Hexapoda, largest number of species. So many exams, previous exams, this question asked, what is the class of arthropoda contain largest number of species? Largest number of species, Insecta or Hexapoda, largest number of species. Here also same, body is divided into head part, thorax, abdomen. Okay, here it is 3 pairs of legs, 3 pairs of legs, next 2 pairs of wings which are going to be present. Okay, in this particularly respiration antenna also which are going to present here it is pair of antenna which are going to be present. Next respiration by tracheal system, excretion by Malpighian tubules, Malpighian tubules. Okay, next here it is development direct or indirect. In this example, so many silverfish. Silverfish, it is not the fish. It is arthropoda. Silverfish, it is not the fish. This also so many exams, previous exams they asked. Silverfish, it is comes under arthropoda, insecta. Okay. Silverfish, cockroach, butterflies, moths, beetles. So many examples you can able to take it in this. Okay, so many examples you can able to see. Hexapoda. Next insecta. Next another one. Class Arachnida. Arachnida. Okay. So in this also body is divided. Head part, thorax, next abdomen. Okay. So in these organisms also antenna here it is absent. Antenna are absent. Here it is respiration. Respiration by gills. Hook lungs. Book gills or book lungs you can able to observe. Okay. Next excretion. Excretion in these organisms particularly excretion you can able to take Malpighian tubules and coxal glands. Coxal glands, you can able to see coxal glands. Okay, in this development, direct or indirect, you can able to observe. Okay, so example you can able to take it in this spider, scorpion. Okay, so if you are going to be observe this spider which is going to be forms the web, form spider web, is that right? With that secretion of abdominal glands, secretion of abdominal glands forms the, it is the abdominal glands. Okay, so this is about arachnida. Next, another Onychophora, another class, small. I'm not going to get into in detail that one regarding Onychophora. So in this, it is the example you can able to take it direct peripatus. It is the connecting link between Annelida and Arthropoda. What does it mean? Onychophora in this class example peripatus. Peripatus, it is the organism which is having characteristic features of both Annelida and Arthropoda. That is the reason why it is going to be considered as connecting link. What is mean by connecting link? Connecting link is that is the particular organism which is having both phyla's characteristic features which are present in the particular one organism. That is going to be peripatus. Annelidan characters are there, arthropodan characters are there. Both the characters which are included present in this peripatus. So that's why it is going to be considered as connecting link. Clear? Like that. One more. Neurostomata. In this also example, you can able to take it a limulus. It is the king crab. Limulus also known as king crab, also known as horseshoe. Horseshoe. This also we are going to call it as living fossil. Limulus also known as living fossil. So many exams they asked limulus. It is a horseshoe shaped structure, and king crab, and it is also we are considered as scientists consider as this is living fossil because from so many years, many years, it is not at all changing any sort of characteristic features. See, once upon a time we are having body hair, more hair, and what we can call different shape is going to be little. It is modified like a chimpanzee, like that. It is going to be present. Is that right? We are modified slowly. Jaws that and all which are going to be, which will come to the certain state. So, but in these organisms there is no any sort of changes earlier from many whatever the organism once upon a time how it is going to be present condition also this particular organism without any modification, without any change, it is going to be that only it is existing still. So that's what it is going to be considered as living fossil. That's what it is going to be considered as living fossil. Okay, so these are the classes are very important regarding arthropoda. Please go through it. Okay, next another we are going to start another one phylum, that is mollusca. Another phylum we are going to discuss, that is the mollusca. Mollusca phylum. Okay, so this is the second largest phylum. second phylum. This is the second largest phylum. First largest, what is that? Arthropoda. In previous class we discussed. Is that right? So this is the second largest phylum. More number of species which are going to be present. Okay, mollusca in Latin word, that is the soft-bodied, soft-bodied animals. So these are the soft-bodied animals, molluscans. Molluscans are the soft-bodied animals. Next, if you comes to the general characteristic features, first habitat. So these are aquatic organisms and terrestrial. These are aquatic and terrestrial organisms which are going to present in marine water and fresh water. Next, body symmetry. So these organisms which are bilateral symmetry. What is mean by bilateral symmetry? When only one plane which is going to be passing through the center axis of the body, which divides the organism to identical halves. Okay, so that is bilateral symmetry, that you remember. Next, level of organization. Organ system level of organization. Organ system level. Gem layers are triploblastic, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, 3 embryonic germ layers which are going to be present. Next, coelom. These are scheizocoelomates. That mesoderm which is going to be splitting of mesoderm, that considered as scheizocoelomates. Anyhow, these are the coelomates, true coelomates. Okay. Next, segmentation. Here it is segmentation. Unsegmented animals. Okay. Next, another characteristic feature, body form. So in these organisms, body, unsegmented head portion, unsegmented head and visceral hump and muscular foot. So body which is going to be unsegmented head portion which is going to present. Next, visceral hump part is going to be there. Next, muscular foot is there. What is this and all we are going to discuss. Okay. Next. So here it is. If you are going to see that particular structure of these organisms, we are going to see that particular segmented head, unsegmented head, visceral hump, and muscular foot. Just a rough structure I am going to make it to understand the purpose. Okay. So this is the exoskeleton. Okay, so this is the exoskeleton of these organisms. Next, after that, head portion. This is not segmented, unsegmented head portion which is going to be present. The head portion which is going to be present. Okay, so here it is. I will make it. Here it is, particularly just a rough structure of this particular. I'm going to make it. These animals rough structure I made it. Okay, body of the molluscus, one of the molluscan. Okay, one of the molluscan, body of the molluscan I made it rough structure. So in this, what are the things which are going to present? First, this is the structure which is going to be related to shell, calcareous shell, calcareous shell, exoskeleton. Then after that, this is the, here it is the mantle. I'll explain what is that mantle. Next, this portion is going to be called as visceral hump. Visceral hump. Okay, so these are the gills. These are the gills which are present in a mantle cavity. Okay, so this is the head portion. Okay, next these are the sensory parts, antennary parts which are going to be present. Okay, and next this is the digestive system, digestive cavity or alimentary cavity. This is the muscular foot, which is going to be present. Okay, just go through the diagram. I'll explain. Here it is, eyes which are going to be present. Okay, here it is body which is going to be unsegmented head part, visceral hump and muscular foot. So this is the head portion and this is the, what we can call, this entire portion it is going to be called as visceral hump, entire portion which is we are going to call it as visceral hump, and it is going to be connected to that large muscular foot. Okay, this is the large muscular foot. Next, sensory structures also which are going to present in these organisms. Sensory structures which are going to present. Sensory structures. Eyes which are going to present. Okay. Antenna which are going to be present. Next, statocyst which is going to present. Statocyst, it is the balancing organ. Which is going to be responsible for that balancing. Next, another sensory structure, ospiridium. It is identify the chemical nature of water, which recognize chemical nature of water. See, which are present in aquatics. So at this point of time, they have to be identify what is the nature of water. Who is going to be identified? This is the ospiridium, chemical nature of water, which is going to be identified. The one of the sensory structure that we are going to call it as ospiridium, which is present in that these molluscans. Okay, so that is about simple. Next, if you comes to that dorsal region, in the dorsal region, this dorsal region which is having calcareous shell, it is going to be protection takes place. Who is going to be secretion takes place? This is by this mantle. So I'll say what is that mantle. I'm going to say. Okay. Please go through this one. So here it is the visceral hump. This visceral hump also known as pallial complex. This visceral hump which is going to be covered by thin membrane called mantle, also known as pallium. So this visceral hump which is going to be covered outer region, what we are going to call it as this outer region, mantle, also known as pallium. So pallium is the, or mantle is the important characteristic feature Characteristic feature of molluscans. Characteristic feature of molluscans. Mantle is the characteristic feature of mollusca. Mantle is the characteristic feature of mollusca. What is this function of mantle? Mantle, which is going to be protecting the mantle protect internal organs present in visceral hump. Internal organs present in visceral hump. So this, whatever the internal organs, digestive cavity, that and all, which is going to be protected by this mantle. Okay. And next, this mantle also which secretes the calcareous shell. Calcareous shell. It is formed by the calcium carbonate. Okay, calcareous shell. This is the calcareous shell. Okay, this mantle itself, what we are going to call it as, this is the epidermis, dorsal epidermis. Mantle, it is going to be, what is that mantle? It is on visceral hump top layer covering the visceral hump. It is the dorsal epidermis. Okay, so this is about mantle and visceral hump. Okay, visceral hump nothing but it is having digestive cavity and internal organs which are going to be present, and mantle cavity which is having gills. Mantle cavity which is having gills, which are respiration, which are used for the respiration as well as the excretion. Both two functions which are going to be done by these gills which are present. And next, what is this muscular foot? This muscular foot which is going to be responsible for that locomotion. What is the function? Locomotion. This muscular foot which is going to be involved in locomotion. Next, mouth region. So particularly in this mouth region, wherever mouth which is going to be opening. So in this mouth region, one of the very important structure which is going to be present, that we are going to call it as radula. Very important structure which is going to be present in mouth region. Mouth contain radula. It is contain chitinous teeth. It is the rasping or feeding organ. Simply food material which is going to be eating. So with that chitinous teeth which are going to be make the cut food material. So this is the radula. It is the radula, chitinous teeth which are going to be present. That you just go through it. Remember. Okay. Radula, chitinous teeth which are going to be present particularly. Okay. Understand what I am going to say? Clear? Next. Digestive system. Here it is the, what is this digestive system which you are going to be observed? Here it is complete digestive system. You can able to observe complete digestive system, mouth as well as the anus which are going to be present. Okay. Next, food material is going to be extracellular digestion. Next, respiration by the gills which are going to be involved in respiration. Okay, so gills which are going to be, suppose if you take in water, molluscus which are going to be present in water, so those are going to be through the gills. Okay, terrestrial lungs. So these gills we are going to call it as ctenidia. These gills which we are going to call it as ctenidia. Okay, ctenidia. Next, digestive system, respiration, excretion. So gills also which are going to be take part in excretion. The thing is that Here it is a special organ which is going to be present. That we are going to call it as organ of Bojana's. Organ of Bojana's. Next, another organ also, Keber's organ. Keber's organ. This also known as pericardial gland. This also known as pericardial gland. This also very important. Should remember so many exams. This and all they are going to be asked. So here it is. What is the excretory structure? Organ of Bojana's. Next, Keber's organ, which also known as pericardial gland. So these organs which are going to be excretory structures which are going to present in mollusca. And next, if you are going to be observed in these organisms, I forgot to mention. So hemocyanin, it is going to be present. A pigment, it is going to be respiratory pigment. That is hemocyanin. Hemocyanin, respiratory pigment, hemocyanin. Generally, circulatory system, if you are going to be go through circulatory system in these organisms, circulatory system, in these organisms, generally open circulatory system. What is open circulatory system? So in this blood vessels that are absent, whatever the blood which is going to be entered into the open spaces, sinuses. Okay. But in some of the animals, it is closed circulatory system which is going to present. Those, what are those? Cephalopod molluscus. In cephalopod, head containing molluscans, cephalopod molluscans, closed circulatory system you are going to be observed. Closed circulatory systems. This one I told you general characteristic features. If you try to remember, so in that open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. In that open circulatory system, arthropods, non-cephalopod, mollusks, tunicates, like that I told. In that closed, what you call, cephalopod mollusks, which are comes under closed circulatory system. Okay, in this hemocyanin, it is going to be pigment, hemocyanin. How it is hemoglobin in our case. In that also hemocyanin, it is the blue color pigment, which is going to present. Blue color pigment. So blood is going to be in blue color in these some of the molluscans you can able to observe. Okay, that you remember. Next, nervous system. Paid ganglia, which is attached with the ventral nerve cord. Okay, paid ganglia. Ganglia means a group of nerves which are going to be present in a particular place. So nervous system. Next, reproductive system. So in these, some are dioecious, some are monoecious. Means here it is, some are having sexual dimorphism, males and females are separate reproductive system which are present, but in some of the animals which are having bisexual animals. Okay, next, fertilization, internal fertilization as well as the external fertilization you can able to observe. Internal and external fertilization you can able to observe both. Next, development you can able to see. Direct and indirect development you can able to see. Direct as well as the indirect development we are going to see. So if you going to observe indirect larval forms, Trochophore larva, Veliger larva, Glochidium larva. So these are the larval forms which are going to be present in mollusca. So these are the Trochophore larva, Veliger larva, Glochidium larva. So these are the these are the larval forms you are going to be observed. These are the larval forms. Next, examples. If you take these examples in this mollusca, phyla, okay, phyla, sepia, loligo, okay, Pinctada. So many examples you can able to observe. Okay, phyla, sepia, loligo, Pinctada, Aplysia, Okay, please here. So this and all you can able to observe. So many examples you can able to see regarding mollusca. Okay. Next, if you go through that classification which is going to be present, so this molluscan classification we are going to go see in next class. Okay. So until very important characteristic features, what I told that one, you just please go through it and try to make it notes. Okay. Thank you.